I decided that I was going to do a top 10 experiences for this year as well. It's been a really good year for gaming, and I have a lot of interesting things that I want to talk about as my top 10 experiences of the year. So let's start with number 10. So, as you guys probably know from watching some of my vlogs, we love to go to the movies. We saw Justice League at PAX, but there's one movie that stands out, and that's Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So at the theater by me, which means that Tom had to actually drive up, we have what's called D-Box, or as I call them, the shaky seats. They're like when you go to Disney and you have those seats that shake and you're watching the movie. And I don't know how I did it, but I convinced Tom to come up to see Star Wars in the shaky seats, and it was an incredible experience. I mean, we've seen all three of the new Star Wars movies together now on opening day, and to see The Last Jedi was just a nice addition to that, and of course seeing them in the shaking seats made it an even more special experience. So my number 10 is Star Wars: The Last Jedi in the D-Box shaky seats. My number 9, so there's lots of games that Tom has shown me this year, but one day I was at his house and he's like, you have to play this new game. It's sort of like a choose your own adventure. And that was where he introduced me to Seventh Continent. I played this and I was like, wow, it is like a open world choose your own adventure, and it's just a great game, and it was a great time playing it, and it turned me on to more, I guess, dungeon crawly or open-ended world games, which I used to play more of, and now I'm starting to get back into again. My number 8. So this year I was at PAX, and it was the first time for all of us to go to PAX, and it was kind of interesting because I got to bond with someone from our team who I don't see as much as everyone else, and that's Eric. We had a really good day at PAX. We went out, we went to see the Liberty Bell, and while at the Liberty Bell they were playing the Sousa March, which was really nice because we were, singing along and I guess humming along and thinking about Monty Python and all sorts of things. Then we got to play Catan 3D, the VR experience, which was really cool, and it was nice for me and Eric to kind of have a bonding day, so I was happy to go to PAX and spend time with Eric. My number 7. So, if you guys remember, for Dice Tower Con, I didn't get to spend much time there. I flew back and forth every single day, every single night, because I was also working. We were launching a studio at Univision, so it was my very busy time of the year. But just flying back and forth each day was worth it to even spend 2 or 3 hours there each night. It was still worth it to get out there. And one experience I really remember is I got in my car, it was my car, because my car was up in Orlando, and I was having our Ubers to take me back and forth to my office in Miami, and I turned on the awards, and I wanted to see the reaction because I knew that I had put an envelope in there that said La La Land, the game, designed by Tom Vassell, published by Dice Tower Essentials, and Tom had known the winners. Normally he doesn't know the winners, but this year he knew them in advance because I did videos, and he wasn't supposed to look at the videos of the winners, but he accidentally looked at the videos of the winners, as you saw that nice video production we did, and because of that, he knew what was going on. But then Eric reads La La Land, and Tom was like, made this face and was like, oh, Eric's making a joke. And then Eric just sat there, and Tom picks up the sheet and goes, and started cracking up in his reaction. He goes, Jason did this. And that video, even though I didn't see it live, that video really, really, really cracked me up. And, Dice Tower Con was just a great experience in general, and that's my number 7. So my number 6, there's someone in our group, Vernon, who you guys probably know. We did a video together this year, and he's our resident painter. So he painted something special for me this year. He painted Star Wars Rebellion. He actually painted 2 sets of it. One set which I put into the game trade, whatever you want to call it, at the Gathering. But he painted 2 sets, and now he's actually painting my Rebellion expansion as well. And I love Star Wars, as you probably can tell from my number 10. And the fact that Vernon painted my Rebellion set and it looks so amazing. I mean, anything he does is amazing. So I was very happy to spend time with Vernon like I always do, and it's always a nice experience to hang out with him and to watch him paint. And I think this year I might spend some time with him while he's painting and maybe do some videos for you guys of his painting techniques, because I think that's cool, and he doesn't do enough of them, and I'd love to see more. My number 5. So I already mentioned that we went to PAX this year, but I didn't know that the guys from Penny Arcade knew who we were. I did an interview with Jerry Holkins, one of the founders of Penny Arcade, and it turns out that he's a huge fan of the Dice Tower, and we just had this bonding moment. The interview was great. We just went on and on and on, and we were talking about games, we were talking about the climbers, we were talking about all sorts of things, and it was just cool to have two geeky people together, bonding, getting along great. And then because it went so well, we were talking about some games, and we decided that I would show him a game afterwards, and we went and played Meeple Circus. He tweeted about it and everything, and we just had an amazing time. And I'm looking forward to going back to PAX. I mean, the guys from Penny Arcade are incredibly nice guys, and I didn't know how much crossover there would be between the video game world and the board game world, but there's been a lot, and it's been a really cool experience to get to do stuff with them. So my number 4, every year we go to Germany, and every year we always have fun. It's a busy time. We eat lots of food, fun food. You know how cool that is. But this year we had to do something special, and that was called Dice and Mystics. I didn't know what to expect, and it turns out that there's all these people that are like, we're going to drive you somewhere. We got lost on the way. I was with Mandy and Suzanne in the car, and we got lost. We missed an exit. We had to loop around. We got there like 15 minutes, 20 minutes late. But then I got there, and these were such wonderful people. We didn't even bring games. Other people had games there, but I got to play Indian Summer for the first time. I got to play Altiplano, which I love so much, for the first time, and the people were just so wonderful, and it brightened up what usually is, we're so tired and drab. And that night I was energized. I was ready to stay for 3 more hours at the Dice and Mystics event. I had so much fun at that, and I'm looking forward to doing that again in 2018. So my number 3, there's been a lot of escape rooms this year. Obviously, the escape room in a box is the thing. So the first time I got to play an escape room in the box this year was back in March. It was when BGG at Sea was going on. And the night before, I went to see Scott Alden, if you guys don't know who he is, who's the owner and founder of Board Game Geek. And they were doing their cruise, and I'm a good friend of Scott's, and he gave me a call and said, hey, why don't you come by? We're doing gaming the night before the cruise at our hotel. So I came by, and we did Exit, the Pyramid one. It was the first time I had done an escape room like that, and we were blown away. We just had so much fun doing it. Later on, about a month later, in April, at the gathering, he brings out this box and goes, I've got a different kind of escape room. It's called Unlock, and I was just hooked. We played all 3 of them at the gathering together. Actually, no, the last one I played with Tom. The first 2 I played with Aldi. The last one I played with Tom. But we had such a blast, and escape rooms are amazing. And, to do it with amazing people is also great. And I am just been so happy to have such good friends, all over the gaming industry, not just at the Dice Tower, but at Board Game Geek and other places where you could play games with good people. And escape rooms are definitely something that is one of my top experiences of the year. So my number 2 experience of the year, this one's a little different. As you know, at Gen Con, we do play a game with us. We do it in the Kickstarter every year, where people could pay on the Kickstarter to play games with us. This year, I had someone really special. His name is Thomas Darrow. I just want to put that out there for people who may or may not know him. He's obviously active on Board Game Geek and other places, and he decided to play a game with me. So what happened was, I usually like to do big fancy things and take people out for hours on end. We went to the Yellow Party first, and we got to play a game or 2 at the Yellow Party. Then we went to Geek Night, the Geek Night charity event, and we played more games there. I think we played like 4 or 5 games that whole night, at least. I don't even remember at this point. But what was interesting is he had just come from the Rising Sun experience, and he got one of the 50 copies at Gen Con of Rising Sun. So later on, when we got back from Gen Con, I think it was that Monday or Tuesday, I wrote to him and said, you know, it was great playing games with you as usual, and he was very happy. And I said, by the way, I know you got a copy of Rising Sun. There were no review copies. Is there a chance you can send us your copy so we could talk about the game? Because it would be nice to obviously get to talk about it before they send out review copies in 2018, because they still haven't sent them. And he was more than happy to. He sent us it. He's like, keep it as long as you want, do as many things as you want, if you want to do a live play, if you want to talk about it, this and that. So obviously we did reviews of it. We got to play it a ton. Tom and the gang did a live play. Me and Vernon did a comparison between Rising Sun and Blood Rage. And it turns out, we want to do something special for Thomas. So at the end, we asked Vernon if he would paint it. And Vernon painted all of the big monsters in it. And when we sent it back to him, he was like astonished and was like, wow, thank you guys so much. And, we want to do something special for a special guy. And definitely my number 2 experience was Thomas, and the fact that we could get to play Rising Sun and talk about it before anyone else. So this gets me to my number 1 experience of the year. And I know it's a little bit of shilling, but it's Dice Tower Cruise. I run the cruise. I put a lot of effort in the year to make sure that people have the rooms they want, to make sure that, if people want connecting rooms, if people want rooms up top, if people want rooms on the side, I make sure that our people with allergies are taken care of, so that the allergy people on the people on the ship, when they're getting fed, they know that they can't eat gluten, or they can't have shrimp or whatever. And I didn't get to play many games at Dice Tower Cruise this year. I think I played about 4 games total, maybe 5, not much, especially for 5 days of gaming. But to see everyone else happy made me happy. I mean, the feedback that I got, people were loving it. There were people who came back a second time and said they want to come a third time. There were people who were first timers who said, we want to come back a second time. And on last night, we decided to take a list to see who was interested in coming back. And it turns out that about 2/3 of the rooms are already full because of people who want to return. And it makes me so proud to know that I could put on a really good convention, I could put on a good time, that people enjoy this brainchild that I had a few years ago, where I told Tom I kind of want to do a cruise, and I envision getting the whole ship one day, and I still envision getting the whole ship, and I know we're still a ways away, we got to grow little by little, but one day I'm envisioning a whole ship where it's just Dice Tower, the Dice Tower Cruise. We have the whole ship, we have like every area in the ship, there's tables and games, and 3,000 plus people on the ship playing games together. So I'm going to work towards that. Right now we're staying at our 600 to 700-ish range for now, but we might grow in a year or two, but we're going to stay at a similar number for this year and then go from there. But I think the one in, I guess early February 2019 is the official date. For those who don't know, February 23rd to 28th, we're going to be going this year to Labadee, Haiti, which is Royal Caribbean's private island, and we're going to go to Jamaica, which has an amazing waterfall to climb. In fact, I'm going to try to organize an excursion where everyone could, we could get a group, a whole bus to take us to climb the waterfall. I'm very excited about it. I mean, year 1 was great, year 2 was even better, and like I said, even though I didn't get to play any games, or very few games, I did get to play Azul, and I got to play a few new yellow games that Stefan brought out for me. But overall, to me, seeing the happiness of everyone else made me happy. And if everyone else was as happy as they seemed, I'm super happy. And, I'm just proud of an event that I put together, and I'm looking forward to making it even bigger and better for our next one. So I guess that's it. That's my top 10 experiences for 2017. As you can see, I've done a lot of different things and been with a lot of different people over the year. I hung out, did a lot of games, did a lot of things, got to visit some cool places, and it's just been an amazing year. It's been an amazing time, and I think 2018 is going to be even bigger and better, so I'm looking forward to that. If you guys had some good experiences, put them down in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think. If you were involved in any of the experiences that I talked about, or just experiences you had, I'd love to hear about them. And, obviously the feedback from the cruise, I'd love to hear about that here too. So whatever you guys want to say, looking forward to reading the comments. Anyway, for now, this has been Jason Levine, the Gaming Machine for the Dice Tower, with my 2017 Top 10 Gaming Experiences.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.